Lightburn.
I have to buy chips for my godkids in Flowers Bank.
Hello, Mr. Pulu Lightburn.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Oh, I'm fine. I was supposed to send this box of mangoes out to your dad,
Yeah?
but we've decided we're going to tell him you conspired and decided to leave it with the kids, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, and you're going to see how everywhere I go, how people react. Everybody's like, and you could even be like, when I'm not looking, like when I go by, you can see how people behind me are like, that's me. You know what I'm saying? I don't look, but I don't see him. Buttercup is the village just before Barrel Boom. And before the creek, we crossed the creek, we're in Scotland half month from the time we crossed the river, coming out of Bermuda Landing. After Barrel Boom is Ladyville, and after Ladyville, you're in Belize City. A lot of the names are like nicknames. And Barrel Boom, I know for sure was given that name because when the lago that came from up west, they floated it down river, and they used to throw an anchor across the river to stop the so that the logs would stop there and won't float any farther. And it was a long chain with an anchor on the end of it, and it was called a boom. Welcome to Barrel Boom. This chain and its anchors are referred to as a boom. Extended across the old Belize River in the 1700s to pull back logs set afloat from mahogany camps higher up the old Belize River. Belize was built on mahogany camps. The British brought the slaves here on the free slaves to do mahogany work and to work in the mahogany camps, and that is why there's a settlement of black people in the Belize River Valley. So this was basically the what the British did when they came to Belize. They didn't come to develop, they came to extract. And they took all the logwood and the mahoganies out to Europe. The logwood was like the #1 source of making dyes. And mahogany was where they made like all the furnitures inside the palace. As a matter of fact, my grandfather and my uncle, they used to make furniture for the governor of Belize and the king and the queen of England because they were the best cabinet makers in the country. Patrick Usey and Howard Usey. They'd polish a piece of mahogany wood and you could say you're facing it. You think it was a mirror. You'd go, mirror, mirror on the wood. Who's the most natural of them all? All the wildlife, dark water, the alligators, the animals that are hiding in the water, they just, you know, they want to be in here. The turtles. People come here to hunt at night normally. There's a lot of crocodiles.
Yeah.
Because they prefer the dark water. When you see a crocodile in the river, that's because he got caught in a flood and ended up in the river. But normally that's not where he wants to be.
Where does he want to be?
In the creek, in the dark water. Where he got better camouflage and he got better hunting. This is the richest soil. For example, reading the Bible, I learned some lessons that my concept of God is a God of nature. Alright? Like in the Garden of Eden, between the Tigris and Euphrates, where the Nile runs, Herodotus, the scribe, wrote that whatever you plant there grows 200-fold. That's the alluvial basin. Yeah. And this is also the alluvial basin is right down river here, where there is Flowers Bank. Flowers Bank is the most beautiful village in the community baboon sanctuary along the river. It is actually in the alluvial basin where the free slaves settled when they came from West Africa. It has the largest population of black howler monkeys per capita. But what it is most famous for is the vote they took at the most famous battle in the history of Belize, called the Battle of St. George's Key. And the way the story goes is that back in time, actually at that time it was British Honduras, being the only British colony in Central America, was always in conflict with the rest of Central America, which was all Spanish colony. Actually, the Spaniards got here first. They got here 100 years ahead of the British. And they basically colonized and controlled almost everything from the tip of South America to the tip of North America. And because at that time, Britannia ruled the waves and the British were seafaring, they wanted the best haven for security in the region. And because of the Barrier Reef, the Great Barrier Reef, which runs through Belize, which is over 180 miles long, and the second largest in the world, this country became British Honduras. And the British occupied it from then until now. Actually until 1981. At that time, the capital of Belize was St. George's Key, which was an island about a 15-minute boat ride off the mainland. And whenever the Spaniards came, they would chase us and we would run back inland. And one time, because of the advocacy of Thomas Spatz, who decided to, let's take a vote whether we should run or stay and fight. And the able-bodied men of the colony at the time took a vote. History says it was 104 of them, and the vote was deadlocked, tied, 52-52. Now what you going to do? And according to the archives, Thomas Spatz came upriver, went to Flowers Bank where the Free State has held. There was 14 of them. And they were at a bar drinking. Now, at that time, 14 black men in Belize are drunk. They're ready to fight. So they all came to Belize City and voted for us to stay and fight. And we fought off the Spaniards, and that is how Belize is here today, which was formerly British Honduras. Hip hip hooray!
Woo!
That's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See the water through here?
Yeah.
These are oak trees.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle is so dense out here. See? A coconut tree grows like this, right? With bigger nuts. The cajon tree grows straight up with some little nuts. Because of the density of the jungle out here. See, this is a royal palm. See, look how tall these are. Look, see. So this is a royal palm ridge. Yeah, you don't see, you know, these are, see how tall those trees are? Those trees grow on the boulevards in California, right down the middle. Yeah, boy. The culture of the Belize River Valley is very family orientated, in the especially in Community Baboon Sanctuary, because these villages are only maybe a couple miles apart by river.
Mm-hmm.
And in the old days, the only means of transportation was the river. There was no roads. The development took place along, not only along the river, but because of the river, and in spite of the river. And the irony of it is that the earth is 70% water, your body is 70% water, your brain is 80% water. So life is where the water flows. That's why right now we're on the way to Flowers Bank, the alluvial basin, where the water not only flows, it settles there. It lives there. It's home to all the wildlife, the birds. See, like I told you, over 600 birds. Where the jaguar feeds. That's where they have what they call bamboo patches. Actually, it's tiger nail bamboos, and these are bamboos where the rodents they hide from the jaguars. So wherever you see that, there is a cycle of life and death. Do you know that the chances of life on Earth is 70 out of a gazillion, and 1,000,000 is a million, 1,000 million is a billion, and 1,000 billion is a trillion, and 1,000 trillion is a gazillion. So you're talking about 70 times a trillion. And we only just begin, because after you get here, 1,000,000 sperm got to chase one egg, and the egg that wins the race is me or you. Life, just to be alive, is to be in heaven. People on earth are looking for a second heaven. We come to Brad Patico. He's the top folklore singer in Belize, so we'll get his music to be the background for your document, for your stuff document. He sings about the animals and the Belize Creole culture and stuff, so
yes,
it would be perfect, because you know, Brad Patico, rice and beans. All right, there you go. Rice and beans, that's the national food. But they didn't finish it. My mom used to say, better late than never. This is called a coconut wharf. Get the coconuts from here to make the coconut oil, the best oil in the world. That's what gives the rice and beans its flavor, the coconut oil in it, and it's cooked with.
the best.
I've come this way like hundreds of times. Yeah, boy. This is called a pine ridge. And eventually, in the next couple of minutes, the terrain is going to change right before your very eyes. It's going to go from a pine ridge to a bull ridge. See, in the pine ridge, see, that's the dominant tree. In the pine ridge, see this tree right here?
Yeah.
See, that's a pine ridge. That's the dominant tree here. But in the pine ridge, the trees, they're not that tight. They're open. See, there's space, a lot of space in between. So you won't get to the community baboon sanctuary until when you get to the Cahoon Ridge, because the Cahoon Ridge, the trees, they grow tight right next to each other. So the monkeys can swing from tree to tree. But see out here, this 2 open space here, it's getting dense right here in front of our very eyes. That means we're coming up on Muscle Creek. See, the terrain is changing right before your very eyes from a pine ridge to a Cahoon Ridge. Notice we started the pine tree just now. See, if you notice, in the next minute or two, you're going to start seeing Cahoon. You see, we don't see any more pine ridge, right? At the Muscle Creek Bridge, we're at the creek right now. We're doing some repairs to the bridge right now. This is the main artery. Without this, everything would be dead. The only thing that never stops flowing. Yeah, this is Scotland Half Moon Village. We just came out of Buttercup. We left from Barrel Boom, we came through Buttercup, and now we're in Scotland Half Moon. The next route is Bermuda Landing. But actually, if we keep going straight, but we're going to make a right about a mile down the road to go off into Flowers Bank. See now the dominant tree are no longer the pine trees, it's the cocoon trees. See? There they are, see so all these. It's the cocoon tree, it's a relative to the coconut tree. Just that it's not as small and it grows straight up as opposed to spread out because of the density in the cocoon roots, because it's so fertile. If you spit it grows. We're in Howler Monkey territory. This is the Flowers Bank Monument. The public meeting courthouse settlement at Belize town June 1st, 1757. The question put to vote before the members in attendance at the public meeting with the impending Spanish invasion by sea from Yucatan was it in the best interest of the settlement to evacuate or to stay, defend and keep possession of same. The vote was taken 51 for evacuation, 65 against. The majority against evacuation 14. They are forever honored and so listed below. That means it was 51-51 and the 14 made it 65-51. That was the difference. William Croft, Cesar Flowers, William Pinder, David Dawson, William Flowers, William Scott, George Rayban, John Dawson, George Grant, Joseph Smith, Thomas Robertson, Adam Flowers, James Hercules, Joseph Tony. Of these 14 decided minority, all except Rayban and Robertson were black. These 12 black heroes paddled their dories from Flowers Bank village along the Belize River Valley to cast their historic no vote in Belize town. This vote set the stage for the Battle of St. George's Key on September the 10th, 1798 by voting to not evacuate but to stay and defend. They bequeathed Belize to our children, ensuring that it was not forever lost to Spanish Mexico or Guatemala. Que viva Belize! Hip hip hooray!
Yeah. Pulu Lightburn. Hey, go on, man.
You alright?
My God is good and life is good.
Yes, sir. Yeah, boy. Yes, sir. Yeah, but we can go park, man. Look for parking space.
A piece of the steak cake.
Why when you wine there? I look for a parking spot, boy. I have to turn back. Yes, sir.